I usually have a pretty stable upload schedule, but I wanted to address something that is not technically in the scope of podcast. This is still authority. I am still E. Prabilski. I am still an editor of 17 years, but I'm also an autistic person, and the nonsense that RFK Jr. just put out isn't something that I can just ignore. So RFK Jr., if you don't know, has come out and said that autistic people will never pay taxes, never contribute to society, they'll never write poetry, they'll never fall in love, and all these other things. And as a autistic professional who is married, I obviously am quite not that. I am almost 40 years old. I own a business. I am a multi-published author. I am currently a board member for the Editorial Freelancers Association. They voted me in. I run a writing conference, and I'm happily married. Autistic people are not limited to the people who are extremely disabled by their autism. Usually people in that position have other comorbid difficulties that have rendered them into that place. And they are still whole, entire people. Even somebody who's entirely nonverbal is an entire person. They have the same depth of emotional life that everybody else does. They just maybe can't communicate it well. It's not something that is only those people. And the right at this point has said both that Elon Musk did a Nazi salute because he's autistic. Oopsie, my bad, I did a fascism. And also practically worships the guy, has him in charge of large swaths of the government, at least right now. He hasn't stepped down yet. And he's still going to be there, don't make any mistake. And they worship the ground he walks on. While simultaneously saying autistic people are never going to write poetry, fall in love, or pay taxes. Now, I'm pretty sure Elon Musk does not pay taxes, so he at least got that part right. And I also consider him a drain on society. Again, they got that right, but not for the reasons they thought. You cannot simultaneously say that, oopsie doopsie, Elon Musk did a fascism because he's autistic, while simultaneously giving him charge of things and also saying that autistic people do not have value in the world, cannot achieve anything, and are essentially potatoes. You can't have both. You can't simultaneously worship the ground that man walks on while also, at the same time, saying we are worthless. I'm not even going to get into the whole vaccine thing because we're not even going to go there. We're just not. I don't have the mental energy to explain how wrong that is, and I think most people listening to this are going to know that already. But the reality is, I'm just pissed off. I'm extremely pissed off. Autism is not some kind of Greek tragedy. Yeah, it can be disabling. I definitely have problems because I'm autistic. I also have problems because of my ADHD. After 3 days of not having my medication this week, because I ran out and didn't get it in time, I reminded exactly why I need my meds. They're very real disabilities. They have amazing properties that come with them. One of the reasons I'm such a good editor is because of the pattern recognition that comes with what I do. My cat is in the background playing in a box again. She has opinions about things, but the combination of disabilities I have give me strengths, but they also have weaknesses. I do have social problems. I have difficulties understanding social situations sometimes. I am oftentimes very literal-minded. It shows more when I'm extremely tired or under stress or something, because most of the time I'm pretty with it. People will know that I am different, but they won't necessarily be able to put their finger on how or why I'm different. I am, however, a fully fledged, functioning adult. I do public speaking gigs. I'm people know who I am. I perform at church on Sundays because I am the worship leader at my church. I'm in leadership of almost every organization I touch, eventually. Whether I'm in charge or whether I'm just supporting staff or whatever it is, I end up helping run almost everything I touch at some point. And I don't usually put myself in those positions. Typically people ask. Because I'm competent. I'm not competent because my autism. I'm not competent despite my autism. I'm competent and I am autistic. They are just two things that are about me. I'm also a map maker. I like maps. I am also a musician. It's a neutral reality. My autism is a neutral fact about me, just like my ADHD, just like my hair color. I have brown hair. Or black hair these days, pretty close to black. It's a neutral reality. Sure, it does cause me problems. My Ehlers-Danlos causes me more problems than my autism does, let me tell you. Having a joint disorder where things just fall out and I end up in horrendous pain is far more disabling to me than I missed a joke because I kind of took it literally. That's way more disabling. And despite that, she's digging for traits in the box behind me. Despite that, I am still a competent professional. I have been editing for 17 years. I am really good at my job. And that is also a neutral fact. People like to turn autism into some kind of great tragedy for the individual. Like, oh, and usually it's like the parents, not even the person, because they don't talk to the person. Usually it's, oh, your child is autistic. They're never going to amount to anything. What a tragedy for you. And parents are either two flavors. They are either, please get fucked and leave, or they're like, I know, it's so bad for me. This is such a hard life that I have to lead because my child is autistic. Please have pity on me and give me attention. Those are the two flavors it comes in. Most of the autism parents I have met are the type who are fiercely going to advocate for their kid and be like, no, my kid's very capable. My kid is very intelligent. Just because they didn't talk early doesn't mean they're not capable. Now me, I spoke early. My first word was light. My sister's first words were flower. Hyperlexia runs in my family. And the ability to speak in large words and understand things early and fast. Some of my first chapter books were Lord of the Rings and Dragon Song by Anne McCaffrey. And we're talking like 8 years old, 7, 8 years old. That's where I was reading. And yet, this idiot in office wants to turn me into a potato. They want to say that it's impossible for me to have a healthy, happy relationship with somebody I love, which I do. My husband's great. I adore him. We've been together a long time, and we've fought for this relationship really hard. Our story is a hell of a story. And yet they're trying to say it's impossible, or we'll never write a poem. Bitch, I wrote tons of poems. I was writing bad high school poetry with the best of them, and I still write poetry. It's deeply personal, and I rarely share it. But in January, when I was in patient therapy, I wrote a song that made everybody in the unit cry, and people kept begging me to play it, and wanting to hear it again and again and again while I was there. Yeah, we can be creative. I write books for a living. Obviously, I'm creative. I draw maps. I do fantasy maps for people. Obviously, I'm a creative. I'm a musician. I play multiple instruments, and I sing. Autistic people are very capable people. A lot of us go into careers that neurotypical or allistic people don't want. I'm going to say allistic, not neurotypical, because plenty of people who aren't autistic but are neurodivergent also don't want those careers. But like editing, for example, it's perfect for the autistic brain. Deep focus, special interests, pattern recognition, rules, and we don't have to interact with people a ton. It can just be us and what we're doing, and we can just really dig into that thing, and we can fix problems, and it feels good. Autistic people also love the sciences. Not all of us are math savants, but there are plenty of people who are. There are autistic people who get into city planning and really like dig into the grids and exactly how the city should be laid out, or things like really being excited over how to time traffic lights so traffic flows properly. If you think autistic people aren't driving a lot of those things and are the people who are the most excited about that stuff, you're wrong. This whole autism epidemic nonsense, it's not because there's an epidemic of autism. Autism has always been around. I can look through my family tree and be like, you and 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 me. and point it all out and lay it out on a borderline clinical level. I can explain how I got to where I am. And it's only more visible now because we are changing the diagnostic criteria and updating it. And because we're not chaining autistic people to radiators in asylums anymore. You know when they stopped doing that? The 1990s. We are only 20-ish years away from a time period where autistic people were left to rot in mental hospitals and chained to radiators. We are not that far off from that. Just like how left-handedness became dramatically more prevalent when they stopped beating kids for being left-handed and saying it was of the devil. Autistic people have always been around. We're always going to be around. It is a natural neurotype, just like ADHD. I'm not going to say it is superior in any way or inferior in any way. I'm not going to argue that it isn't a disability. I'm not going to make that argument at all because I have absolute proof that it is disabling for me in certain contexts. Just like my Ehlers-Danlos. Just like my ADHD. Just like my complex post-traumatic stress disorder. It is something I have to deal with. There are benefits. There are drawbacks. I'm not going to be like, oh, it's a superpower. No, it's not a superpower. It can be very disabling. It does have things that are really, really beneficial. And I happen to love my brain. I like how I'm wired because it makes me good at the things I care about being good at. It really does. I'm not hurting other people by being autistic. I'm not damaging anybody. I'm in fact contributing to the world through art, through my editorial skills, through various other things I do. Autistic people are not potatoes. We aren't nothing. We're not nobodies. We are whole, entire human beings. Even the people who are higher support needs than myself. Even people who cannot live on their own. Even people who may be nonverbal and unable to communicate. They are still human beings who are still just as valuable and valid. Nobody in that kind of position is just a drain on society. I read an article once where an anthropologist was trying to figure out when human civilization started. And human civilization, they decided, was when they found some skeletons that showed horrific injuries and that the person healed. The only way we heal is in community, and humans have been forming communities since the dawn of time. That is kind of the definition of the beginning of human culture. Human civilization is creating communities. And more than just herds, but even animals. If you look at elephants, when one is injured, when one is sick, they take care of each other. The idea that we are a drain on society and should just be removed, not even animals really do that shit. If you have a family unit, if you have a pack, if you have a herd, and the animals are the type who genuinely do kind of care about each other, they take care of each other. If even animals do it, and we're looking at humans and saying, sorry, you're not worth the time, what the hell? What the actual hell? I am not somebody's tragedy. I'm not somebody's sob story. I'm not some sad figure in somebody's life. I am a whole-ass adult who contributes to the world. I am a whole-ass adult who has things to offer and who regularly offers things, who gives back. I'm not just a resource sponge. Disabled people in general, even those who are far more profoundly disabled than I am, none of them are resource sponges. They're all people who deserve love and care and compassion and empathy and to be treated with dignity. I don't talk about it a lot, but I do mention occasionally that I'm Christian. That is Christianity. How you treated the least of these is how you treated me. That was Jesus himself. When I was in prison, did you not bring me food? When I was sick, did you not take care of me? All of these things. That was Jesus. He said that. If you claim to be Christian and you're following this nonsense and acting as if we're just a drain on society. You really need to go read your Bible again, because that ain't in there. Jesus didn't say, well, if anybody was an outcast in society, or if anybody needed extra help, just let them die, I guess. He didn't say that. He went out to the lepers and healed them. They were the outcasts of society, and he spent time taking care of them. I don't even know what to say to these people. This didn't have a script. I just kind of needed to say it. And I don't plan on doing a ton of these type of episodes, but I really needed to get this out there and get this said. And I have a platform, so I might as well use it for things that matter, in addition to the things that obviously I use this platform for. I'm still going to be talking about writing. I'm still going to be talking about all of that. And that's not changing. I'm not going to get rid of it. But occasionally you will probably see videos like this as things come out. Because I am a member of multiple marginalized communities, and as things go on, if I'm not using my platform to try and push back against some of this utter nonsense and insanity, I'm probably not doing it right. So that's my soapbox. If you've watched the whole video, I appreciate it. Hug an autistic person, because right now we're all really pissed off. Like, seriously pissed off. Like, hug us and get us a safe food or something, or maybe a weighted blanket. I don't know. I will be back on Monday. I have things planned. I have an excellent interview coming. I'm really excited about Monday's podcast, but today I just needed to say this. So, I hope y'all have a good week. Stay safe out there. This world is just getting stupider by the minute.